Hey guys, it is Monday, January 22nd, the Daily Dose, episode 3. I'm going to keep up with the episodes now. I'm going to try to do this for an entire year, all the way through, non-stop. Why? Just because I think it'll be fun. I think it'll make me a better person and everything. So I'm going to stick with it for a year, see how it goes. Hopefully you guys help me spread the word. We can reach a lot of people, and that's one of the cool things about starting something, is that you never know who you're affecting, right? You just never know. Someone said they could barely hear me. So I'm going to try to fix that a little bit. What about now? Can you hear me now? Is that better or no? If not, I need to. I may have to get some headphones or something. I don't know. Okay, Elder said he can hear me, so that means it's just my sister's phone acting up. So as you guys see, I'm playing with like a little new tripod thing. So I'm trying to play with it. So you see me moving around in the beginning, give us a little time to get caught up, stuff like that. I'm trying to get the lighting down, so we can figure this thing out, so you guys don't see up my nose the entire time. You can sort of see me. So today we're going to be talking about Winter Haven girls basketball team. Don't read books and no, right? First of all, I want to congratulate Winter Haven girls basketball team. If you guys don't know, that's where I'm from. They just won their third state championship, so pretty exciting for them. Congratulations. It's always good to see people from home doing very well. More importantly, big congratulations to their head coach, Johnny Lawson. Man, he's been grinding for a while. The cool story behind that is he's not one of the guys. He's probably the first guy to really, the first coach to really take time and try to develop me as a basketball player. This was way before he was the head coach at Winter Haven. He used to come and pick me up, take me to the gym, shoot with me, train me for hours for no cost at all. So that was a huge deal. He used to give me a lot of his time when I was in middle school and high school. So it's cool to see him having huge success with the girls basketball team. They've won 3 state championships in like the last 10 years. So they're definitely doing something right down there. So congratulations, Johnny. Thank you, man. I know that you're important in those girls. Some great stuff. Hopefully I can get down there and see you soon. But keep it up. So I want to talk about reading, right? I want to know who's all reading books. Who currently reads? Someone comment in the comment section. Who currently reads non-fiction books on a regular basis? Who currently reads non-fiction books? I want to see some comments. I'm glad you like it, Valencia. Much better backdrop. I don't see anyone commenting. All right, there we go. Shandon. So I guess no one's reading, so this would be a pretty good day then. I don't see anyone commenting. So I don't know why people don't read more, right? Reading is one of those things. No, you need to be reading. Oh, we're gonna talk about that. Devotional. That's good. But we're gonna expand on that a little bit. It takes the average millionaire about 30 years to become wealthy or successful. And we're going to talk about that in a second too. But it takes the average millionaire 30 years, right? So 30 years from the time they know that they want to become a millionaire, you have to work towards that, right? So 30 years, decent amount of time. It's not super long, but it's a decent amount of time. So if it takes the average millionaire 30 years, and on average, a millionaire reads 2 books every month, right? So 2 books every month for 30 years, right? That's about 720 books, right? And again, these are non-fiction self-help books about leadership, maybe their field of study, some history. So you can't be reading books. None. You can't be reading fiction books and Sports Illustrated. You have to be reading books that's going to be developing you as a manager, a person, an employee, that type of thing right there, and that's going to pay huge dividends in your daily walk, right? Because the amount of knowledge that you gain from reading books can't be taught in, really any school. Books can help you go places that you could never really go before, see stuff that you really can't see, and it just opens your mind to a lot. I started reading really like when I graduated college, really. That's where I really fell in love with reading. I didn't read before then. I read what was required, and that was it. But then after that, I really started spending a ton of time reading. I try to read at least 30 minutes a day. I try to get through 2 or 3 books per month. Christina tell you, I have a ton of books. I try to go through them. I like leadership type books. Because I think that if you're a great leader, you can pretty much do anything. And I like to read about great leaders as well. The book that I'm going to talk about reading next month is called The Power of Broke. It's by Damon John, right? The Power of Broke by Damon John. So if you can get on Amazon and get that before we even start talking about it next month, that'd be great. But if you don't, we're just going to talk about the book. It has, I haven't read it yet. My book, it'll come in today, and I'll finish reading it before Monday, so I'll have gotten through the book by the time we start talking about it. But that's one of the best ways you can become a better person, by reading. A few guys that so obviously I did some research. A few guys that I surveyed that sort of fit that bill of, millionaire, blah, blah, blah. They told me that they read, on a bad month, they read 2 books per month. That's on a bad month. On a good month, they read 5 books per month, right? That's more than a book a week, right? So let's think about that. If we cut out everything else, right? If we're grinding every day, trying to reach our goals, reading every day, spending some time with our family, right? Now you got the sun to see. There's not a lot of time for anything else, right? You don't have time to be worried about ABC, who's doing X, Y, Z, and that type of stuff right there, because you're so focused on what you're doing, making yourself better, and those around you, that you just don't have time for it, right? So like one of my challenges for you guys is to try to find 30 minutes to read every single day, right? 30 minutes isn't a lot. I was just talking to my sister this morning, and she was telling me how while she was in nursing school, she sort of lost balance of life, and I was like, that's good, right? Because she was so focused on nursing school, she didn't know what shows were on, blah, blah, blah. I was like, good. That's the way you should be every day. You should be so focused on what you're doing, how you can make those around you better, how you can improve your family life, that you don't have time to watch, 2 hours of TV a night, right? My pastor calls it stupid vision, right? Obviously, there's nothing wrong with watching a little TV, but you should be reading more. You really should be reading books, plenty of books every single month, right? At least 2. Everyone can get through 2 books. If you read 30, 40 minutes a day, that adds up quickly, especially once you start enjoying reading. Even if you don't enjoy it, sit down and read. Make yourself read, all right? Because I think that a lot of people will really benefit from taking their time to just expand their knowledge base, right? It's, like I said, nonfiction, helpful books. I'm not talking about, fiction books or comic books, like seriously, but we're talking about books that's going to help you. Like I said, the first book that we're going to talk about next month is The Power of Broke by Damon John. If you don't know who Damon John is, he's the guy that started FUBU. He's the black guy from Shark Tank, so that'll help, because I know everyone's seen Shark Tank. He's the only African American up there, so that's Damon John. So I'm going to read that book. Like I said, my book will come in today. I'll finish reading it before Monday. But I've heard some great things about it. So I think that would be a great place to start, because I don't think it's going to be a tough read. I think it'll take, a couple days to read for me. So if we start, we're going to start that book. I'm going to try to have a book every single month. Um, and I think that'll really help. I think that'll be really cool if we can, as a group, get through a book each and every month, right? So, yeah, I see some of you guys talking about, you need to step your game up, challenge accepted. Let's try to get through a book, at least one book. The average American starts one book every single year and does not finish it, right? So I'm not going to ask you guys to comment, but think about that. Do you really fall into that category? I know some of you do, right? The average American starts one book and does not finish it, right? So how can you make yourself better if you're not reading, right? I understand you have to go to work for 8 or 9 hours, do stuff when you come home, but you have to really develop yourself, right? There's nothing like personal development, so that you can be a better asset to your company or your business and that type of thing right there. So that's what we're going to do. That book's we're going to talk about it starting next week, right? So it's called The Power of Broke by Damon John. That's going to be our first book that we're going to sort of get through, talk about briefly each week, and go from there. All right, so that's going to be fun. I'm excited about that. But I challenge all you guys, 30 minutes a day, every single day, to change your life, guaranteed. Let's talk about let's talk about telling people no, right? You guys see I put in the title, no, with the exclamation point, right? I'm super, super serious about this. My wife would tell you, no is my favorite word, but not in a bad way, right? Learning to say no to people is something that can absolutely change your life, right? Many people, they're afraid to tell people no because they don't want to look at it as being rude or mean and stuff like that. And I get that, but there's a line that you have to draw when telling people no, and we're gonna expand on that a little bit. First thing you need to know what your goals are, so when someone presents an opportunity to you, you can see if it fits inside, so you see if you can fit inside your goals, right? Because if you're just doing stuff just to do it, you're staying busy, that means nothing. Like, it's sort of cool. I think in America, everyone likes to say, I'm busy, and I'm hustling, I'm grinding. But if you're not busy, hustling, grinding on your craft, on your career, on your family, you just get busy doing everything else. People by nature are selfish, right? I'm the same way. I'm very selfish. So I try to stay, focused on each day. But when I want something, I want it right then. So if I ask someone to do something, that means that it's sort of important to me. But that doesn't mean that every time I ask someone something, they have to say yes, right? You don't have to say yes to every single person. Everyone knows who Warren Buffett is. He owns Berkshire Hathaway. A billionaire. He's an older guy. LeBron James' personal mentor. But he said the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people know when to say no, right? So that's big, especially coming from here. You have to learn how to say no. You have to know what your goals are, right? If you know what your goals are, you can see if something fits in there. So first thing, you need to figure out your goals. If you don't have your goals written down, you need to write them down on a sheet of paper. And you don't have to share them with them, but you need to write your goals down. You don't have to share them. Be careful who you share your goals with. A lot of people tell you that your goals are too big and stuff like that. If your goals aren't big enough where they scare you half to death, erase them, ball that paper, make them bigger, right? Big goals, right? Big goals. Big goals take a lot of work, so just don't write stuff down and just throw it out there. If you write something down, you got to be willing to go get it. So the first thing is, let's figure out our goals. 2, when someone asks you something, you need to respond quickly, right? Once you know what your goals are, once they bring it to you, you can really think about it, respond quickly. I don't mean respond quickly like right then. A lot of times when someone asks me something on the spot, I'll say, I don't know, let me think about it, right? But it doesn't need to be, let me think about it, and then 3 weeks later you haven't responded to that. But you need to go home, really think about it, talk to your significant other if you have that, or, something like that. You need to respond quickly, a day, 2-3 days at the most, so that you can get back to them. Don't leave them hanging, right? Because that's just rude. When they see you, it's awkward. You never responded, that type of thing. And when you respond with no, if you're going to respond no, tell them why, right? There's nothing wrong with saying no. It makes it better when you give them the why, because people see that you aren't just being mean, or you think you're too good for them. You're telling them why, right? If someone asks me, to do something, I would say I would love to do it, but right now I'm really working on XYZ, and that just doesn't fit in my timeline right now. Keep me in mind for the future, but right now it just doesn't fit. And then leave it at that. If they get offended or get upset, that's sort of for them to deal with. But if you give people a real reason why, don't just say, "Oh no, I can't do it." Give them the reason why, because I think that really means a lot when people know that you really took it to heart. You thought about it. It just doesn't work. Now this would be tougher for some people than others, right? Obviously, some people really struggle with telling people no and stuff like that. But like this one decision right here, this one word can actually change your life. Just simply telling people no. Something else that came up the other day when I sort of use these words a lot. So there's a big difference between being successful and wealthy, right? Or rich, whatever you want to call it. I think there's a difference between rich and wealthy as well. But let's talk about successful and rich, right? Finances don't make you successful, right? What makes you successful is that you know what your goals are, right? You have them written down, and if you can achieve those goals, and live the lifestyle that you want to, if you want to live a lifestyle that you want to live, if you want to live the lifestyle that you want to live, I would say that it is a huge success. Sorry, I'm messing with this camera. I tried to touch it and it fell over. So I think too often people just strictly put monetary things on their success. I think that's a mistake, right? Everyone's not going to be a millionaire or a billionaire or whatever your goals are. I think you really need to have, tangible goals that you can reach, because if you're only worried about making X amount of money, I think that if you don't reach that goal, regardless of how good life is going, you're going to say it wasn't enough. Or B, when you reach those goals, when you reach that financial goal, you're going to realize that it's not that great just having more money in the bank account, right? So I think that you guys we need to really talk about what our goals are and what we attribute to success, right? I have a mentor, and he talks about sort of the perfect day, right? What's your perfect day? And once you can reach that perfect day, whatever you decide it is, it can be anything. If you want to have X amount in your bank account and do X, Y, Z, that's fine. But some people, their perfect day has nothing to do with finances at all, right? So that's what I would say. You guys really need to know what your goals are so you can know what you're working towards and that type of thing right there. And I think that'll really make a big difference. So we're at about 18 minutes. I'm going to try to keep us from 11:45 to like 12 o'clock each day. So that's about all I have for the day. If you guys have any comments or anything like that, post them below. If you have a question, post it below. You can email me. I'm getting excited. We had about 30 people on right now, so that's pretty cool. So let's keep it going. Tell a friend to tune in 11:45 to 12 o'clock-ish every single day. Remember, hashtag the daily dose. I'm going to be out there searching, watching, seeing who's up. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 11:45.